Hey, good morning, everybody. I want to share with you this morning just a few ways that you can actually maximize your learning through your lifestyle. Now, of course, there's plenty of different ways which you can actually maximize your learning through different strategies and tools, and there's brain training programs, all that sort of thing. But what we're going to be talking about this morning is how to put your body or your brain into a primed state. How to put it into a point where it's actually ready to change, it's ready to learn, it's ready to maximize learning and to make it effortless. And one of the key ways that we know that this works is through something called BDNF. So when we look back to a child when they're starting to grow and develop and they're starting to learn a whole bunch of new stuff, one of the big things that happens is their brain has released tons of BDNF. And BDNF has been shown to actually promote new connections within the brain. That's one of the main reasons why kids are so adaptable and they learn so quickly and effortlessly is because their brain is in such a prime state thanks to BDNF. And we know that as they go through this critical learning point, BDNF's at its highest, and there's a certain point when BDNF will actually lower. And so the thought is if you can maximize learning by actually promoting the production of BDNF in your brain and your body, you're actually going to make your learning curve lessen. You're going to make learning more effortless and easy than ever before. And one of the cool things about BDNF is when it gets into the brain, when it gets promoted in the brain, it actually activates something called the nucleus bacillus. And the nucleus bacillus actually helps you promote more attention. So that's why if you've ever noticed, if you've been in a class or you've been at a conference or seminar that you really actually enjoy, have you ever noticed that if you're really paying attention, you remember a lot more than, say, if you're just kind of fiddling on your phone, if you're writing something or talking to somebody else, you're not going to remember as much because your brain actually activates your nucleus bacillus and actually makes it more important to your brain. And so your brain will be promoted to actually remember that, pay more attention. And then also what this does is nucleus bacillus has actually been shown to put your brain into more of a plastic state. So we know that the brain is actually able to change well beyond your 20s. It was thought for a long time that once your brain reaches 20s, that's it. Your brain no longer changes. You're kind of set with those. But we know for sure that the brain continues to adapt, continues to change, continues to grow and adapt throughout our lifetimes. So now we know, okay, how do we activate this BDNF to actually promote learning in the brain? And we know that if we can promote BDNF through our lifestyle, it's going to make learning effortless, because BDNF helps promote new connections, which is a key component in learning, and that's your brain's ability to make connections and relationships to your surroundings, and that creates more linkages and actually promotes that learning process and deeply ingrains it into your system. And that's the cool thing about BDNF, is once those connections are made, it actually seals them off and makes them stronger so that they fire together, wire together, and promotes those connections. So now, not only are you going to be learning it, you're going to be deeply ingraining it into your brain, into your nervous system, which is really cool. So I'll give you 4 simple steps. We'll keep this video short. So one of the first ones obviously is diet. Diet's one of the big ones, right? If you don't, you can't have a healthy mind with a sick brain. And so if you want to promote learning, if you want to make new connections, you want to promote BDNF, we know that BDNF is really strongly correlated to our diet. And the more inflammation you have in your brain, the less BDNF you can expect to have. And so obviously a micronutrient dense diet is so key. And when we're talking about micronutrients, macronutrients would be proteins, carbs, and fats. And everybody is very strongly concerned with how many carbs, how many grams of carbs am I getting, how many grams of fat am I getting, how many grams of protein. That's all well and good, but if you're not getting the right micronutrients to go with it, if you're not getting the right vitamins, minerals, especially B vitamins, you are not going to promote a healthy brain. Because obviously I can get all my carbs, fats, and protein from really unhealthy sources, and it's not going to do the trick. So it's very important, even though you need to focus on those macronutrients, make sure you're also focusing on getting the right kinds of nutrients and getting the right types, quantity, and from quality resources that are going to be in your diet. And so one of the other tips with these that I always say is get tons of greens. Tons of the dark leafy greens are really healthy for your brain, really promote the production of BDNF. That would be the kale, the broccolis, the deep greens, the deep lettuces. Those are going to be great for your brain, help promote healthy plasticity and learning in the brain. The other one is getting healthy fats. And a lot of people underestimate this. This can come from avocados, coconut oil, olive oil, things like that. Really healthy fat sources, and because these healthy fats, even cholesterol from eggs, and eggs are also a great source of choline, the egg yolks, so don't skip on those egg yolks. These fats really promote the body to actually use ketones, and especially if you're using tools like intermittent fasting or exogenous ketones even, if you can get your body into a state where it's actually using ketones as a primary fuel, it's a cleaner fuel source for your brain, produces less oxidative stress and inflammation on your brain, and actually helps your brain fire better. That's one of the main reasons I got into the ketogenic diet, into intermittent fasting, and all these different things, Because yes, I also lost some weight with it, but the big thing that I noticed is I felt like my brain turned on to hyperdrive. So if you can learn to use some of those tools, which we talk about over at the Neuro Lifestyle, and you can get your body to start using ketones, your brain's going to become more plastic. It's going to promote the production of BDNF, but also it's going to promote neurogenesis, which is your brain's continual production of new brain cells. So you're going to create a healthy, vibrant brain that's actually ready to learn, is going to learn quicker. So that's one of my first steps for you is diet, also transitioning to ketones. The other one is movement. Movement's so huge. We know fitness and exercise is so important, but it's so important to get movement every single day if you can. Even just a little bit of movement, and quality movement matters. Even just as little as an hour a week or even 20 minutes a day can make a huge difference. And it doesn't have to be a huge CrossFit intense workout every single day. Like today, for instance, I'm just going to go on a nice little run in through the trails here, and it's probably going to be only about 20 minutes. But that's enough to get that blood flow into the brain, stimulate, flush out the lymphatic system of your body. The lymphatic system also is what clears out that debris or that lactic acid buildup, if you will, in your brain from your brain being used. So by moving, you're actually going to help flush out the brain so it gets fresh oxygen, fresh nutrients in through there, and it's really going to put your body in a prime state to actually be used and to learn and to do things better. And also, exercise also helps promote neurogenesis and the production of BDNF as well. So exercise is one of the most profound ways to do that. So definitely move a lot. The other one is getting outdoors. This is a really cool one that I learned from Dr. Brant Courtright, author of the Neurogenesis Diet and Lifestyle. And actually, when you go outside, when you actually go and explore new places, when you travel, if you need any more excuse to travel, if you go to Italy or Spain or new places, even if you just go to a neighborhood that you've never been before, your brain starts to create a new map, and it actually expands its worldview. That's why it's so healthy to travel. And what it'll do is it'll start becoming more plastic again. It'll start actually being ready to change. It'll create that new map within itself, start producing more BDNF, and actually make your brain more plastic, more ready to learn, make it more effortless than ever before. So I always say go outside, go explore the world a little bit if you needed any more excuse to do so. And then the last one that I have is vitamin D. Getting outside. This whole talk of nootropics has really just exploded a lot lately, and for good reason. There's some really great quality nootropics out there, but I've always said you can't over-supplement a terrible diet and a terrible lifestyle. So when we talk about nootropics, one of the best ones you can get that's absolutely free is vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the best ones out there, and most people are deficient in vitamin D. And it's just as simple as going outside for 20 minutes a day, making sure you're exposing your eyes to it as well. And vitamin D has been shown to not only reduce inflammation, but promote brain function as well. So it's really profound. Now, here's the cool thing with vitamin D as well. And when you go out and get sunlight, when your eyes are exposed to sunlight, it's not only going to help your body retain its good circadian rhythm, what that'll do is it'll actually help promote your sleep. And sleep is really important for ingraining and deepening the learning process. If you're not getting good sleep, you're not going to be a great learner. So it's really important to get good sleep. Maybe that should be number 5. Well, number 5, sleep will be the next one. But when you have good quality sleep, we know that there's a lymphatic system in your brain called the glymphatic system. And as we talked about before, the lymphatic system is what flushes what flushes your body's toxins out. Now, as your brain's being used and as you're trying to learn throughout the day, your brain's actually producing toxins. It's producing byproducts. Same when gas goes into your car and that exhaust is that toxic fumes, right? The brain does the same thing. It's just the byproduct of using energy in the brain. And so the lymphatic system is what allows the brain to flush that out. And sleep is when that system is the most active. So when you get good quality sleep, that's when it's going to be used the most. And also by taking those other tools that I just showed you, it's going to help reduce the amount of toxic load your brain's getting so you can learn longer and get deeper quality, more substantial sleep, which will be super beneficial for you. And then my thought after that, after you deal with all those different things, then you can start talking about nootropics. That's my personal viewpoint on it. You can't over-supplement a bad diet and lifestyle. And nootropics, I feel, will only be super beneficial for you once you do all those things, and you're really going to maximize the benefits for that. So using these techniques, using these systems, and then even more advanced into nootropics, which we could have a whole other conversation on then, that's how you're really going to make learning effortless. So even if you're doing a brain training program now, you're really trying to train the mind, you're trying to train the systems, but you're working with bad hardware. And hardware is really important. So these are going to be some steps to upgrade your hardware, which is your brain, to make sure that you're maximizing your learning and making it more effortlessly and easily. So hope you all have a great day. That's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys next week. We'll have another brain hack for you. See you guys.